Hello and welcome to GBR Life Vlog. I'm Caitlin, and this week we are going back into TextBlaze on GBR Life tutorials. We will be taking a look at dynamic fields. Now this will be a multiple part series of the GBR Life tutorials on both the TextBlaze aspects and on dynamic fields. This week we are just going to go into the basics of dynamic fields and then continue to get harder and harder as we go into the weeks. So who's GBR Life? Well, it is a blog, vlog, and a podcast, including this tutorial on TextBlaze. But not only about TextBlaze, the blog, vlog, and podcast are about multiple different things. So I would heavily suggest that you check out gbrlife.com along with the awesome clothing line that'll keep you comfy and stylish called Mama Koala. But enough about all that. Let's get into TextBlaze tutorials. Welcome to the inside of TextBlaze and this week's tutorial of dynamic fields. Now, first thing you're seeing is the dashboard, and if you are new to TextBlaze, first thing I'm going to say is you need to go to the top and look for that pop-up so that you can go to the video that I have of TextBlaze review. It'll just give you a little bit more of an idea of how to get started and getting it onto your computer. If you are just trying to figure out how to start a snippet, the quickest way to say that is you just press that plus button right there and it will create a new snippet. It's that simple. Now I'm going to go ahead over to the dynamic fields so we can get into the dynamic fields portion of the show. First thing you're going to see here is I labeled it dynamic fields and /df because that is the easiest way to remember this example. I'm going to show you this example how I did it so that you don't have to just rely on what I say. So here, the very first sentence is next blog will be out on, and then you see this information, it's some dates. Would you like to subscribe to GBR Life? And I said a yes or no, and I called it subscribe. And then this is an if-then formula. So why this is important to point out that it's an if-then formula is because I want you to think of TextBlaze in this moment like Excel, because it is basically utilizing the same type of formulas that you would use in Excel. So if you're great at Excel, this is going to be easy for you. If you're not, that's okay. It's not that complicated either. Let's just go through making this exact same thing over here on another snippet so you can see how easy it is. Now, I do want to say this entire thing was just a quick little creation by me. It doesn't necessarily mean it would fit into what I'm going to be doing on my blog or my vlog or my podcast or any of that stuff, because this is basics and there's a little bit more that this would need in the future, and we will discuss that in the next video. So be sure to subscribe because there's going to be more to this. I do need to show a little bit at a time though, so that no one gets confused. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and copy this right here because I am lazy and I don't want to type out the same thing if I can, and go over to this other snippet so that it just looks beginning, and go ahead and paste that. So from here, I want to add the same thing that I did the last time, right? Next blog will be out on. Where are the commands? They are to your right. But we are talking about specifically dynamic logic. So formula, if, else, condition, repeat. If, else would also be known as in Excel, if, then. So you'll recognize that. But in this case, we want to use a formula. So you can type in a formula if you'd like. But they kind of did some of that for you by making it so you just press insert command or insert function to just make it quick, depending on what you want to do. Of course, it's not going to say 7 times 8, but in these specific areas. So if it's something really simple, just go ahead and type that in. But if not, they do have these other commands here. So in this case, I'm going to say the date is in 2 days. I said 1 day for the other one, but let's just change it up a little bit. And then just press insert. But before I do that, I can say also, you can also change the type of format it's going to come out in. So you can say a percentage if you're looking for that, or money and stuff. So if this is something you're using for like accounting or just something related to money, you can change it to money. Okay, let's go ahead and press insert. And then I'm going to go ahead and press another line and then go back to the dynamic fields and copy paste, right? So let's copy subscribers and then paste that. But of course I can type this out just to, so you can see, just in case you're wondering. It's literally me just not wanting to type it all out because I'm going to be doing some typing here soon. So would you like to subscribe to GBR Life? Now, first thing I'm going to do is actually create something that can be labeled. And what I mean by this is the if then needs a condition. So let me show you that first. This part right here, it shows that it needs a condition. So what that means is you want to tell it what it's looking for in order to say that formula, the yes or the no. So it's if this, then say that. If that, then say this, right? So if you're saying, if apples, say oranges. If oranges, say apples. That's what you're trying to say. But how do you tell a computer to say apples or oranges? Well, if you label it fruits, well, then it knows that when it sees fruits and you say apples, it will say oranges. So that's what you're trying to do here with this. But I don't want to do this yet until I set that condition. So I'm going to go over here and say, okay, would you like to subscribe to GBR Life? It kind of just makes more sense to say yes, no with a drop down. So to me, in this circumstance. So I'm going to go to forms, which is not a dynamic logic, but it's going to set that condition. But you can use a text field or paragraph. I mean, it's, again, it's similar to Excel in that sense that you're looking to set that condition. So these will work. So I'm going to go ahead and press drop down menu. I don't need 3. I'm just going to say 2 of these and just a quick yes. Not see yes, but just yes. And then this one will be no. Okay, right here, I'm labeling it, so I'm going to call it sub 3. No, we'll call it sub 2 because there's 2 columns, and that's how my brain thinks. Okay, let's press insert. From here, I want to see that this looks good, right? So we can just press preview, or we can press try it out, but I prefer to press preview in this case. So next blog, it shows you the dates, and then would you like to subscribe to GBR Life? Yes, no. Okay, not bad. So it works. Now we're going to go back to this and really do these if else. Now, I know you're seeing me look over here and it says frequently used, but remember, you can type in dynamic commands if you just want to scroll down to, not you don't scroll down, but it'll just pop it up with the dynamic logic. But because it's something I've been using, it's coming up as frequently used. So that's something that's convenient about TextBlaze. I mean, you don't have to scroll all the time. If you're using it a lot, it'll be there. So, and this is a dynamic field. So now that we have a condition, because I have this condition created and I call it sub 2, I want to show you right here. It's actually showing you that you created a condition under forms. So if I click on if then, or if condition, if else condition, and I select condition, that comes up because it knows that there's conditions in that snippet. So that's nice. Now, if I did it with a form, a text form, and I said, I think another example that TextBlaze has itself is when you're using it on an invoice and they said price versus quantity, and they added like both of them at the same time and said like, multiply the price and the quantity. You can do that in here because you've set the label, but you can combine conditions. This is a condition, but you can combine those conditions and you can say like this and then also a plus something else. Okay, not that. Minus something else. Well, there's nothing else here, so it's going to say invalid formula. But, I mean, again, it's not sky's the limit, but, I mean, there's a lot you can do here. I don't have another sub not sub, I'm sorry. I don't have another condition, so it's a little difficult to show you that, but I do want to show you that this does come up as well, these commands and text functions. But I will show you more of that where it does the quantity minus the, what was it, price, actually, I think is what they did in there. So I'll show you something similar to that in the next one where we just make this a little bit more complicated because this is supposed to be as simple as can be. So let's focus on just this. So sub to, and if someone says yes, we say thanks. If someone says no, we'll say catch you later. No, that's probably not as nice. Someone says no, hope to see you again soon. Insert. And there it is. And now we're going to see if this works, but I do also want to mention that I can grab these and I can place it wherever I kind of want or need. So these are movable, and if you accidentally create something in the middle of a sentence, just grab it and move it. Problem solved. So now let's go ahead and preview. Next blog, would you like to subscribe? It says no, hope to see you again soon. Yes, thanks. So this is a preview. Going back, I can try it out though. Next blog, you know, so it's working. It's showing that this works. So this is basically just a really small example of dynamic fields and kind of what it can do. TextBlaze has so much involved within these dynamic fields, so it is going to take a few weeks to go through kind of all of this and show you a little bit more and more, but I would suggest giving it a go and seeing if you can just create something as simple as this, do it along with me, and then make it work for you, make it into what you want it to be. And then if you have any questions about those things, let me know in the comments below and we can talk about it and see if maybe if it's not working for you, maybe something that is going wrong in what you're doing, just go ahead and send that in the comments. And then I can answer that and we can also make another video out of it. So it'd be really great to communicate and see if everyone's doing it well out there or if you're having any issues. So let's continue this conversation though on the other side. Well, that's it for this week for GBR Life tutorials on TextBlaze dynamic fields. I hope that answered some of your questions on at least how you get started with these dynamic fields. I think the next step is to go a little bit deeper in so that you can see even more about what dynamic fields can do, because as I showed you, there are a lot of options, but you will have to have a little bit more knowledge in the subject of technology. Let's be honest. It's a little bit more involved, but that does not mean that you can't do it too. So let's continue to talk next week with another tutorial on GBR Life vlog. All you have to do to make sure that you don't miss out on the next TextBlaze tutorial is to click on that bell icon while you are subscribing to GBR Life. And if you're interested in anything else like this, like reviews or parenting hacks, like I have on my vlog, be sure to also, again, click on that bell icon along with subscribing. It was wonderful talking to all of you this week. Can't wait to see all of my new subscribers and new viewers of gbrlife.com or shoppers on mamakoala.com. Talk to you again soon. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff I went over or any questions about anything that you'd like to go through on TextBlaze, please let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss any of that in another video or right there in the comments below. Okay, until next week.